Whoa, it's Wulzy. Welcome back to the Geometry Dash building episode on the Easy Demon building series. Thank you for all of the support on the series so far. Today I'm going to put some kind of design to it, maybe make a better background than just these particles, and then add some foreground to it. So without further ado, I'm going to start this episode by making a backup of this level, just to put right here. I've had issues in the past with using area scale triggers, because I think sometimes they just break. Kind of scared, but we're just gonna go for it anyway. The first goal of this video is to build up that background and add some texture to the floor and the ceiling. I want to put some objects like these on the ground. Not sure how I feel about the color of this. I'm trying to tweak it so it feels a bit better. Maybe a pink would suit this better, a bit more desaturated. I'm a little scared of having this object scale too big and it being crusty around the edges, so I'm gonna scale this down a bit more. I'm gonna give this a group, number 13. I'm gonna copy paste it and rotate it a few times, just like 45 degrees at some point. Maybe even a free rotation so the particles kind of just splatter in random directions. I can make a shape like this that I can copy paste like every 5 blocks or something. And then just start selecting random ones to rotate. Or maybe flip horizontally, vertically, you name it. I think we can get some pretty interesting results for the ground here. Okay, let's just make the ground just black for now, because it's gonna match with the shadows of the blocks that I've made. Now allow me to add an area scale effect at the very beginning of the level with a decent length to it, making it so that it scales up as we pass it on the x-axis, centering around player 1, which I got from just checking this box, and then adding 13 as the target ID. So now when we play, these particles are kind of just scaling up as we get there. This looks really good, actually. Let's set up a locking movement for group number 13 on the x-axis with a little bit of a modification here. It's going to go like 75% of the player's speed. And what that means is that as we play, we're going to get it locking to the x-axis, but it's also slightly moving in the background, which is pretty good because that's going to allow us to create more depth. First off, I'm going to select all of these objects and just move them a little bit further to the right so that none are wasted on the left. I'm also going to make sure it has no entry effects on the screen. I'm going to edit this to a 0.5 so it moves a bit quicker. And I'm actually going to copy paste and put them on a new editor layer on the Z order below with less brightness. Color Channel 3 copies the background, then each layer behind uses HSV to reduce their own brightness. This is not going to be group 13, this is going to be group 14. It now needs another move trigger to lock it to the x-axis. I'm going to put that 0.75 value back in, so it goes slower on the layer behind. Then I also need to add a new area scale, which is going to make it scale up a bit more so that it actually extends out from behind the other section. And now when we play, we should have a multi-layered background, which is apparently enormous. The reason being is that I did not change the group inside the scale. Now when I play, it's all good, but it's huge and it's ugly because you can see the pixels in the background. We're gonna change the easing for 1 layer as a start. Then I'm gonna change the actual values. Instead of using 2, I can use like 1.5 on both of these. Maybe just reduce the variance as well, just a little bit. So then this one can use the 2 times, and that way they're not gonna touch. Okay, now it just looks like they're barely scaling at all. We have to fix this. We have to change the length of these triggers. 100 is much too wide. We want to reduce the amount of time that it takes for this to scale so we can see it more clearly. There we go. It's actually scaling as we pass it, which is pretty cool. I think I'm going to experiment with the Y scale. See what happens if I put one on 10 times, just to see if I can... No, this is horrid. What if it's skinnier and it does that? If it goes to like a 0.2 scale. Wow. Whoa, this looks sick. Hold on, I just made a cool thing by accident. I'm fiddling with the colors, trying to make it fit the vibe of the song, but I just can't. So, might I be onto something with this color scheme? Not sure. I can definitely pulse this, and I think the black works well. This might be a better color scheme. Hold on, I think I did it. What happens if I select all of the objects and just hide them? I'm assuming this is just about to look stupid. It's playable, but it just, you can't really tell where the edges are exactly. I don't really like that, so I gotta add something else that makes it a bit more clear. This looks so sick, actually. It just needs like a subtle overlay, you know what I mean? All I should have to do is just copy this layer, go to editor layer number 8, put it on like B1 or something, and then go 4 and 4, this like light orange layer, so everything is nice and bright, and then give it a new group. That should be good enough, right? Then if we put an area tint that is focused on turning the blocks black, the areas where the player is not at, so the effect ends in between. We put like a nice, I don't know, 75 length on this, maybe give or take a few, tint it in full, and then center it on the player 15. We should have a cool effect here where the blocks light up as we get there. It just sucks. That's the only thing. It just sucks. This isn't good. You can see layering issues. What I could do is stop the blocks from overlapping with each other. You can see the issue just by zooming in here. You can see the lines between. And if I can just start tracing with just regular blocks instead of the big fat ones. Here we go. This is better, I think. It just looks so patchy. I can just change the length to like 15 and then add the offset as like 5 blocks in front of us. Maybe I can create a cool effect on the right where these objects kind of light up as we get... There's a way to execute this. I just know there is, but it's just so hard to do. Maybe area fade is what we always wanted. If we just set it to from 0 to full opacity. I mean, kinda. Wait, this is kind of decent. Is it not? I also just remembered that I was going to make another layer of these on the foreground. So let's just put editor layer number 10. We can put T2, put it black. Give it another group 16. Just remember what we did earlier. We copied a move trigger and then changed the percentage that it's going to lock. Cool, 90%. Less scale than this. This is going to be really awkward. What if I do like a 1.2? Rotate. Maybe can save the day. I have no idea though. I mean, I got it. The rotate works. Wait, this looks good. I think I gotta make the saw blades and everything black just so they stand out a bit more because these diamonds on top of these particles just don't really match. They don't stand out from one another. Okay, this is better. I can see more clearly where to go. The black spots are more of an area to avoid. I think I can make a much cooler ground than this. I'm not gonna lie. It just kind of looks blotchy. All I would have to do is go in with mini blocks here along the bottom, scale them down to like, I don't know, 0.8, something that's slightly smaller than the actual grid spot. Set it to black, put it on T1, copy it a couple of times like this. We just want an area move for 16 that for a couple of blocks in front of us, maybe 2.5, on a decent length of like 50. We can move these objects 50 to the left, which is going to be a move angle of -90. That should be it, right? That should literally be it. If I just ease in out or bounce maybe, that would be more of the vibe. 16 is the target, center P1. It's slightly off. Okay, with some sort of increased variance here, the length should come bouncing in with a cool little ground pattern, but I gotta figure out what that actually is. Oh, wait, I see the problem. We forgot to put it on just the x-axis, yeah. If we just go crazy with the variance, I don't care. Okay, that just creates particles. Do not do it on the move angle, that is too much. Okay, if we put a high enough value, we can make a cool ground effect, I'm sure of it. Well, I got this cool effect from it. They are kind of transitioning on and off the screen in an annoying way, but... Well, if all else failed, we have a dancing little line effect. This is cool. I dig it. I actually... Why does this look good? Wait, I can vary the size as we go in. Okay, here's the plan. We have them divided by 10 at the start. Then they multiply by 20, so they're twice as big as they should be. So just to enter the level, we already have this really cool sequence if we just divide by 2 once again, where they go huge and then they shrink back down to their normal size. We can create a loop. Yes, a loop where they go up maybe twice the size and then go down like 4 times. Then after that, we can put a back out movement, which is going to make it go slightly bigger than it's intended to, which is going to be 2 times just to make it back to normal size. Then we can divide by 10, which is going to make them small again. And then we can just like really quickly increase by 10 and just loop these triggers. I don't know. Should be pretty dynamic. I think it's cool how they're going to change size. It's not very noticeable, but it's a thing. Hey, why not? It's cool. I don't like how they just completely disappear though. I'm going to change that 10 to an 8 on these 2 triggers, just so they're still visible somewhere. Maybe even a 5, you know? I'm feeling nice. Okay, here we go. We have the objects that are going to shrink and just keep doing their thing on a loop, and they're not really getting in the way. It just looks cool on the ground. It's noticeable when you're playing. It looks like a cool little glitchy effect. I like it. Then, for my final little piece for this section, I'm going to change the background color in its brightness and a little bit less saturation for a cool 0.1, 0.75 type thing. Nothing too special. Half a block later, we are going to go up from the background up, which is number 5. You remember this color I put in? The stretchy object? That's going to do the same thing. And then the next color forward, which is this little light orange thing. That's going to do the same thing. And then the black objects that are on the front of the level, that's going to do the same thing. We just loop that. Awesome. Nice. Okay, this is cool. I dig it. Now, If we want to change the color, okay, I think with this little change with the portal and the section of the song, I'm going to start putting down color triggers and starting off with the background, click the default button and shift the wheel over to pink and just do the same thing where everything is offset by half a block and just start with the background. This should work and the loop should still go with this pink. Okay, and then just to switch the color back again, I can just click all the default buttons and that's a nice little switch to pink that then goes back to normal when the song kind of reverts and changes its tone again. You'll hear it right here. Nice, awesome. We should make it go blue just because we almost had a blue section to start the level, then I changed it to orange. It's only right that I change it to blue, just like this. Then we can go to red, so it kind of goes similar to what the beginning was with the orange, but it's slightly different. Okay, without further ado, let's just show what we got up to in this video in full. We gotta fix that intro transition, but this is glowed up, bro. It doesn't look like much, but we've added so much personality to this level. It just feels so much better. The concept is more full. I think it just flows so much more nicely than what we had. Thank you so much for watching this Jump Dash building episode. Check the links in the description, leave a like and subscribe, and have a good day.